Welcome back, everybody, to the Nosebleed Sports Podcast. I did it. I'm Chris Schmidt, and with me is Adam Schmidt. Adam, we've decided we're not going to necessarily call it the Nosebleed Sports Podcast, but I said it anyway. That's okay. It's Nosebleeds are back, bud. We're week 274 or something.
This is maybe total all the things that we've done. This is 249 or 50 maybe. Might be
man, quarter century on this bad boy.
Right.
Nice. 250 episodes. Congratulations. I say we kick it off. Well, we've got big news today. Adam has a life-changing event that has happened to him. I don't know what it is. I'm excited. I'm nervous, and all of the feels you can possibly be. I had a life-changing event happen to me as well. I don't think it was nearly as good as yours
though. No, yours is better, I'll bet. But we'll find out. To get there, though, Chris, we got to start out. You are out of town. We are doing this remotely. We are not together in the same room.
That's right.
So we couldn't do the same Reese's necessarily because I got some new stuff that I haven't seen in stores or anything. I had to order them. So because of that, we are just going with a good old-fashioned Reese's Big Cup, and we're just going to a Big Cup, which is, I think, collectively our favorite that we've had so far, probably.
Oh, yeah.
And so we're going to just enjoy that. And while we're eating this candy late at night, that reminds me that I want to know the latest update. By the way, you got the Reese's Puffs in your thing, which we've had before. Delicious. Love the Puffs in the Big Cup. I got the regular Big Cup here. Here she is. And it's gonna be like a cooking show where I have it. Here it is, sealed up in the wrapper. Cooking show already ready to eat.
Whoa, already done. Nicely done. Nice. We already know that we both think these are like 9.9s or maybe 10s on both sides. So I gotta tell you. All right, so we talked last Wednesday, we did the podcast. On Thursday, I went to an endodontist. Endodontist. I don't know what it is. I don't know what they call them. Something fancy. I went there. I knew I had an infection because I had like a golf ball on the side of my face. We talked about that last week. And it was swelling up and it hurt to the touch. I couldn't touch the hairs on my beard. It was bad. So went to that guy, talked to him. He says he thinks I got a fractured tooth, believes he can fix it. He thinks he can save it. 50-50 chance that he can save it with a root canal. So come home. And I want to say the next day, Friday, I'm looking at my face and it's huge. And there's this little white spot. And I just touch it. And it explodes onto my hand. I'm talking a full line of pus sits across my thumb as I touched it and doesn't move. Thick, white, nasty pus. And I'm looking and I just touched my face again and it pours out of my face. I'm talking like you were pouring water out of a cup. Now it's got blood mixed in with it. We're like a white and red mix just gushing. I call my wife because she's like a Dr. Pimple Popper lover. She's always wanted to pop everything on me. She's up underneath my arm, trying to see what I'm doing, trying to record videos. She's got a couple. I'm talking, it's pouring out.
Oh my
I
God.
lost minimum of a half an ounce of some kind of fluid out of my face, and it has not stopped leaking since. Randomly, I just have spots on my shirt. I woke up in the middle of the night, stuff just all over me. I think I might be done. I'm going to try to show you this. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it or not, but I've got a hole in the side of my face. If you're on the YouTube, you can take a look at this bad boy if it pops up. I don't know if you can see it or not. Can you see it?
Tough to see. I don't know, but I'm looking on my phone. Okay. Yep. I see it. Yep. There she is.
All I got to do is pick that little scab and drainage. It's almost gone. There's still a little bit in there. I can tell it's still a little bigger, but there's more to come. More to come, my friend. So I go to the dentist. I had to go Tuesday, to get the root canal done. And I talked to this guy, and he's like, all right, here's what we're going to do. He's very bland, very nonchalant, right? Like monotone guy. And he's looking in at my face, and I said, hey, I just want to tell you, man. I said, remember I told you, first off, I didn't tell you this part either. First things first, last Thursday when I went to go see him the first time, he couldn't tell how swollen it was because I had a beard, right? Like you can't really tell. And I was like, dude, I said, the big thing is, I think I just need to get on an antibiotic, to get this infection out of here. And he's like, well, to be honest with you, I don't like prescribing an antibiotic unless I see swelling. I said, but it's a golf ball underneath this beard. He goes, I'd be happy to give you prescribe you some pain medicine, but I'm not always big on prescribing an antibiotic. Does that even sound like a normal person, like a doctor in 2023 would say that? Like I'll give you 90 oxys, but no antibiotic for that giant infection on the side of your face.
Couldn't he just feel it?
He didn't touch me. I don't know why, but it's probably a good thing. Anyway, so he gave it to me. I said no to the pain meds. I didn't need those. I just wanted that in. So I got that. So I tell him about the leakage when I come back a week later. I tell him about the leakage in my face. He stops, gives me a look. Really? And I pull up my hairs on my thing, and he goes, I've been doing this for 25 years. They told us in dental school that an infection like this could leak out from the front of the face, but I have never seen it.
Whoa.
Calls his nurse person in. Have you ever seen this before? No. She's been with me for 23 years. She's never seen it before. I am a medical marvel.
Wow.
Yep. So yeah. Yep. Nice. Yeah. It's disgusting and it's huge. But yeah, you saw it earlier. Later tonight, I will be picking that, and all I got to do is do a little squeeze, and it just drip, 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 drip. I'm telling you, I could have filled up half a shot glass with the amount of stuff that came out of my face. And on that note, I'm going to have some chocolate.
Remember the story I told last week about throwing up on vacation? I feel that way now.
Mm-hmm.
Really disgusting. Very, very, very disgusting. But
I'll send you the video.
I can't wait. Did the root canal take?
It was done yesterday. He said he's got to see me in 8 weeks. If it didn't work, he's got to pull it. So that's $600 tube.
I got to tell you, you are functioning very well for just having a root canal. And not only that, I called you yesterday and you are at your daughter's soccer practice tossing baseball with your son, having gotten a root canal an
I,
hour later? I mean,
I
earlier?
went. It was at 9 a.m. It
Okay.
like took about an hour, hour and a half, and I was not good. But I was nauseous for some reason. I don't get nauseous. I do
Oh,
get nauseous. I take that back. I get nauseous all the time, but not just from Novocaine
mhm.
or the drilling and all that. But I didn't feel that great for a while. It took me a little nap. Got up, did that. Went to practice. I fought through practice. It hurt. It hurt like hell yesterday. Um, but I wanted to be there. It was their first soccer practice of the year, and I was forcing my son to go outside and not sit in front of a Xbox. So I got him outside.
Well,
We were doing some work on some pitching, and so yeah, I fought through it. But I went to bed at about 9:30. Feel great today, except for the fact that my tooth feels a little taller than all the other teeth. But
oh,
they said that's normal. So
that's yeah, yeah. That's uncomfortable. Just
uh-huh.
feels different. But
Mhm.
hopefully that does the trick. And hopefully, I mean, it's going to take 4 or 5 years for that hole that I just saw in your face to heal. But
That'll never happen. I'm gonna. It's so big. I'm gonna have a scar there forever. I'm never gonna be able to shave my face again.
you know what you should do? You should try to smoke a cigarette through that hole.
I
See
probably
if you
could. It's
can.
about the size of the butt. And the crazy thing is where the big hole is. There's another small one right above it that started leaking at one point too. Dude, I look like I look like I look like the Hoover Dam, just water flowing.
You got an air release valve on that thing, like
No.
a
So
like a gas can.
so the other night I call my wife up and I'm like, Aaron, come here, come here, come here, come here. This is after I had a bunch of leakage. And I said, listen to this. And I could just squeeze my face and it was going, it was
Oh,
in the air and pushing it out.
oh.
That's how big it was. The hole. Nasty.
I hope your face feels better and it heals. And I think we have to start talking about something else because
Let's talk about something else. You've got life-changing news, but we
oh
are gonna hold on to that. I
yeah,
want everybody to sit back. This is a life-changing event that happened to Adam. I have no idea what it is,
I don't want
but
to overhype it. I don't want to overhype it because you're going to be like,
I'm,
oh,
no, no, no. I'm overhyping, bro. This is the tease to keep people listening. They
I
call
mean,
it.
for me, big thing for me.
All right, big thing for Adam. All right. Before we do that, we're going to switch up the way we do things a little bit. We're going to go into the Mount Rushmore.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mount Rushmore this week was women's soccer. Women's soccer players. We have the what is it? Is it? It's not the World Cup yet, right? It's the
This is the World Cup.
World Cup's going on right now, like I said, and the U.S. women's team. There's news all over the last couple days about how awful they are suddenly, but
They're one.
I,
They're 1-0-2, 1-0-2 in pool play, but pool play doesn't matter. Now they're in the tournament, one and out.
okay, okay. When do they play?
They play Sunday,
Okay,
uh, and they play Sweden.
Sweden. Got it.
Yeah,
All right. So there might be a player or two current women's team that make your Mount Rushmore. There may not. I'll tell you one thing. I want to get yours, and I'll have you go first. But looking at the lists of the all-time greatest women's soccer players, almost all of them seem to be in the last 30 years.
well, sure. Women's soccer has only been going on for 30 years.
Okay. I didn't. I guess I didn't realize that. They were only. I guess yeah. They had to be allowed to vote first, and then they had to. And then they let them play soccer.
I don't know when was the first women's World Cup?
Yeah, I think it was in the
Idea?
I want to say 80s.
1970 Women's World Cup in Italy.
Like I said, 1970.
But the women
So-
have dominated since the 90s. The U.S. has dominated since the 90s.
Yeah, that's right. Which is why it's such a big deal that they're 1-0-2 or 1-0-2. 0-1-2. 1-1 and 1-0-2. But didn't they? Oh, the 2 was 2 ties.
Exactly.
For some reason, I'm thinking ties go in the middle. I don't know why that would be. I don't follow any sports you can tie in. But
Yeah.
anyway,
All right, so let's do this.
Your Mount Rushmore of women's soccer players.
Well, I got to tell you, looked at a couple lists just to figure out, who are the best women soccer players. I don't know. I don't know who half of them are. So, number one for me has to be the woman with the most goals in U.S. women soccer ever. Abby Wambach. Wambach, however you say her name. We've all heard of her. We know
Yep.
Abby. She played 14 illustrious years with the U.S. women's national team. And I got to go with my man's wife, Mia Hamm. Growing up, I had a much skinnier face with this big old schnoz. There, that's the side. Yeah, that's the Nomar side of the nose right there. For those of you watching, that's the Nomar side. This is the OK side. That's the Nomar side.
You got an extra lump on there or something?
Yeah, you know how women have their right or left side that they take their pictures on. I've got my Chris side. Nope, my Chris side and my Nomar side. But when I had a skinny face, I looked a lot like Nomar.
Yeah.
And then I don't remember Carly Lloyd. She played in the last Women's Cup. I don't remember Christine Lilly, but Alex Morgan is going to be on mine. She's got 121 goals. She's killing it. She's been on the team for the last couple World Cups. Since 2010, she's been on the women's national team. 121 goals for the women's team. And the rest of these people, I don't know. So until you get to Megan Rapinoe, but I'm not putting Megan Rapinoe on there, even though she is the heart and soul of this team. She really gets them going on this team. I'm going with Hope Solo, the greatest goalie in U.S. women's history.
Hope Solo. I hope so. I hope so. Hope she's on your
Well, I hope so. Love.
Right. You have Abby Wambach, you have Mia Hamm, you have Hope Solo.
Alex Morgan.
Alex Morgan. That's your 4. Nice. Okay. All right. I'm going to, this is going to be a big wrench thrown in this thing then. You selected all United States of America citizens.
Yeah. I don't know any other people.
Okay. So.
I can't wait to hear the 4 people you put on your Mount Rushmore. And I want to know if you ever knew who they were before you looked them up.
Well, the answer to that's no. We'll start with Abby Wambach. I've got her on there. Most goals. Easy number 1 for me is Mia Hamm. For the same reason. You were, you got me into the Red Sox back in the day. You were a huge Nomar guy, and we went up and got to go to a game during that era, and that was super cool time.
By the way, one of the greatest stories of all time. I don't know if we've ever told it on this podcast or not. Drive to Boston. You, me, and your brother Joey.
Yep.
We had a really good trip, really. We went to Cooperstown as well.
Right.
So go to Boston. We do the ballpark tour beforehand. This is in 1998. Sorry, 2002. 2002? Yeah. They won the World Series. They won the World Series in 04. This is when the Red Sox Yankees rivalry was as big as it ever got. It is when the Red Sox were as good as they ever were before they won the World Series. And they were selling out every single game. Adam and I and Joey go to there to do the ballpark tour. That's fun. Then we go to the box office. The ballpark tour is a whole nother story. We go to the box office. And they're sold out. All you can get day of is standing room only and obstructed view. And we got obstructed view seats. And this lady was so nice. And she said, it's, what was it, 12 rows back?
Something like that. It was close.
We were 12 rows behind third base. They just, instead of having an aisleway, stuck an extra row of seats in there. So you actually had more leg room than anybody else. Yeah. But in between innings, you get one or two people that walk across your aisle. No big deal. It was phenomenal. I got to see Nomar. I got to see Miguel Tejada. By the way, Miguel Tejada to this day, fastest hands I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they were playing the Oakland A's, who were like the next best team in the American League at that time. That's the same year that the book was written. Wasn't that the same year that, or maybe it was right after? Maybe it was the year after they won that 20 straight games in the Billy Beane Moneyball book was written about. I think after, yeah. Because that was the year they won 20 straight games, wasn't it? 02?
Oh, so it was the same year. That book is based off of that run.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got Hattiesburg and Miguel Tejada and the whole deal.
Yeah.
So anyway, just throwing that out there real quick. Great story.
Awesome story. Yeah. Those obstructed view seats were, I want to say they were, for some reason, $55. It sticks in my mind, which really? Was, yeah. I feel like they were $50 or $55. But it did work out.
I don't know how I had that much money.
Yeah. I remember us having to make a decision because you guys were 18. I was 20 or whatever, 21.
Yeah.
20. And so
we had to decide if we were going to get a hotel room or if we were going to stay, if we were going to go to the Red Sox game. So we slept in a car.
Yeah, we did.
We did sleep in a car one time.
We did. Coming home, we did. Yeah, that was awesome. Those seats were incredible.
Adam didn't have cruise control. We drove to Boston and New York with no cruise control. Joey's in the back seat trying to sleep, irritated as all get out because Adam is a little bit of gas, a little less gas, a little bit of gas, a little less gas, a little bit of gas.
How did that car not have cruise control? How did cars not have cruise control?
I don't know. I remember rolling the windows down because we were all so tired, blaring Green Day, trying to stay awake as we were driving down the road. Where all of a sudden Adam hits those little the rumble strips on the side, and we both look at each other like, oh crap, we both fell asleep.
I mean, those things guided us home.
Mm-hmm.
Bridges.
That's no joke.
Okay. And then you're right. That's why we stopped at a rest area and slept for a few hours, which is exactly where murders happen.
Yeah.
So,
well, one that we know of.
That was such a fun trip. What were we talking about? Yes, Mia Hamm is Nomar Garcia Park's wife. Mia Hamm's on my list. I have Abby Wambach. I have Mia Hamm. I have Birgit Prinz, who is from Germany, and she, 90s, I want to say, 90s, 2000s, and I read a little tiny thing about her. She was like, the best player in the world for a few years. 282 goals in 282. I wrote down games, but I realized they're called matches. So I'm going to say 282 goals in 282 matches.
Don't let those people, don't let them get the best of you. It's a game.
Well, I mean, she was real good on the pitch. So that lady from Germany, and then lastly, a young gal who is, I think, in her later 30s now, still playing, from what I understand, but considered possibly the greatest women's soccer player to ever live. Just goes by Marta.
Oh,
Marta
wow.
from Brazil.
So you've got an Ichiro on our hands.
We've got an Ichiro, and she's from Brazil, and which reminds me of the greatest male soccer player. I mean, nobody says that anymore because everybody says Messi is, but Pele was from Brazil, had one name that we know him by. This is Marta.
Was Pele his last name or first name?
It was his name.
Was his name.
Don't worry about it.
Word. I like it. I like it. Oh, well, that's good.
Anyway, I had to throw a couple in there because they were on these lists, and I'm like, hey, look, if they were all-time greats, I got to throw them on there.
Hey, good for you. Good for you for doing more research than I did. Way to go.
I don't know if I did. I looked at one list. Martha was number 1 on that list. The Birgit Prinz was number 3.
Old Virgin Prince. It's one of my favorite people. She's sounds like a male. Doesn't sound like a female's name.
Birgit.
With a B? With a B?
With a B.
Oh, I thought it was a V, like Virgil.
No, it kind of looks like Bridget, but the I and the first I and R are switched. So,
Got it.
Anyway, I feel like I should be able to pronounce that because I took German in high school, but that was 57 years ago.
How many years did you do in German? Did you do 2?
I did 2. Boy, did I do 2. Heck out of there.
I did 3 in French. The joke was that Mr. Rosen used one red pen for my test and one red pen for the rest of the class. Somehow I always got an 85.
Wow.
The whole paper would be red, but I got an 85. No idea.
Good for you, Mr. Rosen. Sweet fella.
Yes, he is.
R.I.P. Maybe. Anyway.
No.
Still around.
Maybe. No. Maybe. I think he's still around.
I thought he was taking a snooze, but I
hope not.
I hope not too.
Rosen, even though you had to have an 85 to get out of the exam. I was the only one in French 3. French 3 and 4 were the same class. I was the only one that had an 84.
Oh.
I was the only one that had to take the exam. It was 2.5 hours. It took me 25 minutes to take the test. And he made me stay there the entire time by myself in the classroom. I turned it in, started packing my stuff up, stood up, and he's like, oh, no. The exam's 2.5 hours. And I was like, okay. He graded it, gave it back to me, knew what my grade was, and I had to sit there for another hour and a half.
Oh my gosh.
That was the one time Mr. Rosen was not the coolest teacher I ever had.
I was going to say, do you want to revise your statement about him being so?
I loved Mr. Rosen. He was awesome, except for one day. One day. Maybe he was having a bad day. I don't know. I'm not judging a guy on one day.
If I'm him and I have one student in my classroom for 2.5 hours, I want that student out of there as soon as I can.
I just did what I did mostly in French class, and I just slept.
Yeah. Yep.
He used to fall asleep, and he'd take that giant hand he had. Dude, his palms, his one index finger was the size of 2 of my fingers. And he would slam it down on my desk and never stop talking. He'd just be talking in French and teaching the class, walk over to my desk, slam my desk, and I'd jump up. And he just never stopped. He never drew any attention except for the slam of the hand.
You should have told him you were sleeping in French.
Oh, that was the greatest thing ever. We played Monopoly in French.
Oh, no.
I've told the story before, right?
How do you say Monopoly in French?
Monopoly.
Yeah.
So we're playing Monopoly in French class. And the thing is, so there's like 4 different games. So that's what we did for like 2 weeks. You would come back and you would restart the game, but not restart it, but start from where you were. And there's 4 guys on each board. And the whole class, you had to speak in French the entire time you were playing. So you know how, there's 5 or 6 games of Monopoly going on in the classroom. Like, it's so much gibberish. Nobody can hear anything. So, but this one time, guy rolled doubles 3 times. And you know what happens when you roll doubles 3 times? You go straight to jail. So he rolled doubles 3 times. And everyone in class decides that's the moment that no one's going to say a word. And I look at that dude and I go, sucks to be you, eh? Right when everyone in class is quiet and we're supposed to be speaking French the whole time, but that's how I spoke French. I just threw an A at the end of it. And Mr. Rosen gave me one of these. Oh, yeah. Yep.
I had Mr. Rosen for homeroom one year. He was a nice man.
He's a very nice guy. Very nice guy. When he got irritated, he was a little scary, but didn't have him very often.
Good. Oh, man. All right, Chris. I got to tell you, something happened the other day.
It's time.
It's it was. I think we're both this way. I'm really, really nostalgic about the times we grew up, right?
Sure.
80s and 90s stuff, specifically our childhood, the wrestling and the baseball cards and all the stuff. I still spend time with that stuff because it brings me joy, right?
Yes.
Time, so much fun to do all that stuff. A huge part of my childhood was Pee Wee Herman. The look on your face makes it look to me like you do not know that Paul Reubens has passed away.
No.
Paul, it's been 2 days. 2 days. I can't believe you haven't heard. Well, you're not.
Pee Wee Herman's dead?
Pee Wee Herman's dead.
Oh, that's so sad. I'm so confused on why this is a life-changing event for you.
Because he was everything. I mean, my favorite movie of all time is still, at 41 years old, Pee-wee's Big Adventure.
Scariest movie of my life.
Scariest
movie of my childhood. Absolute scariest movie of my childhood. Large Marge is the scariest human being that the ghost or whatever she was, monster, to ever live or die or be in a terrible truck accident.
Right. Worst accident.
And when sorry, go ahead.
Sorry. No, I said worst accident I ever seen.
And when they pulled the something mangled body from the wreckage, the face looked a little bit like this. Scariest moment of my life as a child. To this day, I dream of it. I have nightmares of that exact of that scene. Loved Pee Wee Herman. Had a rubber band ball. Always had a rubber band ball. But love Pee Wee Herman. Love Pee Wee Herman's Playhouse. Pee Wee's Big Adventure scared me to death.
Yeah.
And Pee Wee's Playhouse adult version on whatever that came out after he got in trouble and all that, just as funny.
It was a Broadway show that or a theater show that they actually did before Pee-wee's Playhouse. So, and it came out on HBO and it was out. I didn't see it until afterward either. Or maybe they did another one too after that too, when he came back.
Yeah, because who died that was on the radio, the comedy with the radio show. What was it? Phil Hart was in it.
Yeah. Yep. He was Captain Carl. Yeah.
Captain Carl, nasty sailor.
You're right. Yep. So anyway, Love. I've got to find the picture. I'm sure it's in a photo album at my dad's house somewhere of me dressed as Pee Wee Herman when I was a kid. At least 1 year. I think I did it a couple years for Halloween. Got to find that picture. But anyway, it was just the last 2 days. All I've done is watched and liked TikTok videos that people are posting of everything the guy's done. I mean, I've seen in the last
everything.
Huh?
I mean, everything that he's done.
Not everything.
That was a little weird when he got long hair and.
It was they must have been off for a while from shooting Pee Wee because he was
it was one of those they like you could like go to a movie theater and watch a porno or something, right?
Yeah, there was a specific theater for that. Yeah.
Could you imagine going to a theater with a bunch of men and watching a pornography?
Yeah, I mean he was there by himself, but I think there might have been other people in the theater, but he went by himself. I mean,
no. That's what I'm saying. I mean, who goes with somebody? I'm not being like, yo, go check out the.
I imagine there's space.
Debbie does Dallas.
You can in a place like that. You got four people in the four corners, and then you got like spaced out perfectly in the row. No, that was unfortunate.
Everybody's shoulders just keep shrugging.
From laughing. That's why.
They're just laughing at
it. Yep. Yeah, weird time. I've seen there were a few posts of people talking about that too. But for the most part, everybody loved the guy. And he was a big time comedic actor. I mean, he was a comedian. He did stand up for a little bit. He was
really?
Yeah, he was a big improv actor. He went to was it UCB, one of the huge improv troupes, and he was in with some of the I think that might have been where he met Phil Hartman and like 2 or 3 other like comedy icons that started in improv. He was in those same classes with those people. And those people always talk about how amazing he was, how funny he was. And he did a lot of stuff. He was when he started that character, like in the early 80s, he was going on David Letterman when Letterman was first on, young David Letterman. And he did he was off the wall. And Letterman's like half the time he's confused, half the time he's uncomfortable, half the time he's just laughing because he doesn't know what to do with this guy. And I'm
gonna have to go back to some of those. I don't remember that play. Pee Wee's Playhouse was awesome.
Awesome. And I still see clips and stuff all the time. And my brother introduced Pee Wee's Playhouse like last year to his kids.
Oh, so really?
They've watched some of it and they liked it.
Mika Lika High, Mika Honey Ho. Mika Lika High, Mika Honey Ho.
Zombie. Anyway, a lot of, and there have been a lot of really cool things that people have posted, like stories about the show, like creating that show and people that were involved in it and stuff like that. Just that's unfortunately when somebody you are a fan of dies, that's kind of like a fun part with social media now is like there's all that, like everybody talks about it for a little bit.
How old was he?
70.
Holy cow.
70 years old. And here's the thing. So everybody's always like curious, at least I am always curious about the cause of the death, right? And they're doing a much better job now of not always putting that in, because if it's a violation of privacy, they're not going to put it in there. But it came out pretty much right away. He did the same thing that Norm Macdonald did. So he had, for 6 years, he had cancer and didn't tell anybody. So he died of cancer and nobody knew about it except for like a few
immediate, yeah.
So anyway, that's what happened. And apparently he knew he was going, so he started calling people, his friends and comedians and stuff like that, and was kind of saying his goodbyes and all that kind of stuff. But anyway, that's my big news. I told you it was going to be disappointing, but
that's life changing.
It's huge for me, man. Paul Reubens was
you were so excited about it. I never would have guessed that somebody had died.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't excited. I was just like, this is
excited about the fact that you got to see that they brought back memories and it brought back all of this stuff. Nostalgia.
That part's been great. That part has been great. But yeah, it's and hopefully it keeps going on, because like once you hit like on a TikTok video, that's all you get. So that's what the last 2 nights I just been watching Pee-wee stuff.
Nice.
Oh man,
I just been watching Pee-wee stuff. That's quote of the day there, bud. That's quote of the day.
Pee-wee stuff sounds like the title of the episode.
Sounds like what he got arrested for.
All right, some of us pretend like that didn't happen.
I know. I can tell. That's the one thing I remember about Pee Wee Herman. That and Large Marge and his rubber band ball.
What's funny is, so the scene happens, the Large Marge scene. She drops him off, right? He walks into this bar that she drops him off in front of, or this restaurant.
Yep.
And he walks in, and last thing she says to him is, "Be sure and tell him Large Marge sent you."
Yep.
He walks into that place, looks around for a second, and just out loud to nobody says, "Large Marge sent me." And you hear spoons dropping, and everybody looks. And then the guy starts this whole thing, and he kind of repeats her thing. And then
it's on the wall, right?
Pans over to the plaque on the wall of her, right? So it has the dates of her born and death dates on it. In my calendar, recurring every single year, is Large Marge's birthday and death date. That comes up every single year.
You, my friend, this is life-changing for you.
Yeah. I can quote the entire movie. I'm gonna watch it. I'm gonna watch both. I'm gonna watch all 3 because I gotta go back and watch Big Top Pee-wee, which was his second movie. Right. And then the one that he released like 6 or 7 years ago, which was also really good.
It's called Big Top Pee-wee.
Big Top Pee-wee. He goes to the circus. He joins the circus.
Yeah, but if you think about it.
What? Big Top, the circus, the big top from the circus. That didn't mean that back then. That came out in like 1990.
It's called Big Top Pee-wee. I guarantee you there are plenty of gay videos out there that you can watch called Big Pee-wee.
Maybe. Well, if you go watch the movie, you will not think of
I'm scared to type that in to look for it. I don't know what's going to come up.
Big Top Pee-wee movie is what you got to type in.
Okay.
Maybe it did. I don't know.
Even better. Give me an hour and 25 minutes of it.
Oh man. Anyway,
Speaking of that, did you hear about Fly Soldier?
No.
Do you know Fly Soldier?
I feel like I probably have heard the name. He's another one
of boys.
He's one of whose boys?
The Island Boys.
Oh, that's what I've heard. Yes.
The Island Boys. Those normal white boys.
Yeah.
Came out. He came out as gay. He's gay now. Came out of the closet. But he said he's only top. He's only a top. That's it. Because that's how he rolls. That's what he said in his coming out video. He says like 4 times. Make sure everybody knows. Yeah, but you know how we do. I'm only a top. That's it.
So they're brothers, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So he's gay, but his brother's not.
I mean, as of right now,
What's the other one's name?
Fly Soldier and something. I don't know. Well, we'll come back. We'll come back to that.
Okay. Okay. Well, look, congratulations to that guy, to that
It's
young.
just when you kept saying Big Top Pee Wee, that's the first thing I thought of because that just happened the other day. Kodiak Red.
Kodiak Red.
Kodiak Red and Fly Soldier.
Yeah. Oh boy, those guys are really something.
Yep.
Oh.
Yes, they are.
Listen,
So
speaking
Big Top Pee Wee, Pee Wee's Big Adventure, and what's the third one? I can't wait.
I think it's like Pee Wee's Big Vacation, something like that.
I can't. Okay.
Right now, something about vacation.
I'm sure I'll be able to find it.
Yeah. I'm gonna watch all three. I mean, I've watched Pee Wee's Big Adventure in the last year, for sure.
What's his real name?
Paul Reubens. Yep, the great Paul Reubens. All right, P. So that was our. We brought back our dearly departed segment.
Dearly departed. Yes, dearly departed.
Yep.
Paul Reubens.
There you go.
Speaking of Paul Reubens, kind of like almost kind of sounds like him.
No. Mark Norman, yeah. Yeah. They almost even see a little bit of a resemblance, maybe. Like yeah.
Definitely.
Good call. And we watched Mr. Normand. We watched his new Netflix special.
Soup to Nuts.
Soup to Nuts. I've got so many notes on this page, they're blending together. Holy smokes. After giving up 20 runs last night to the Chicago Cubs, the Reds have given up 16 tonight. That would be 36 runs.
36 runs in 2 games. And is it over?
It's over.
Wow.
It's over.
Somehow Buck Farmer got stuck with the loss. I'm sure he didn't deserve it.
Yeah. I don't know. But that's
a team to an entire pitching staff.
Yeah. I don't know what happened.
They just left Blake Lively out there to die. They said, I don't really care. You're going 4 innings tonight no matter what. Sorry, bud.
They used 6 pitchers the night before, I think, and 6, I think, bullpen pitchers the night before. You almost have to. I don't know. They must have used a bunch tonight too. So who knows what's going to happen tomorrow?
Not good.
Hopefully they have an off day tomorrow. I haven't looked, but Mark Normand.
Mark Normand. Got a bunch of notes.
The Reds should have traded for Mark Normand at the trade deadline. They didn't do it. Instead, Mark Normand was in Chicago, funny enough, for his special.
Yep.
And here we go. How do you like it?
I want you to go ahead. You got all the notes on it. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Number one, just going to be totally honest. I am biased when it comes to Mark Normand. He's one of my favorites. So I was just going to be like, this is just going to be awesome. And almost no matter what, it's probably going to be good for me. That's pretty much what happened. But I did really like it. He's definitely got a style. A lot of people will joke about the same things, the same themes, topics, but he has his own style, I feel like. He's just, first of all, fast-paced, at least in this set.
Yeah.
Joke after joke after joke. He doesn't leave a whole lot of. Now he kind of like slowed down, and it almost seemed like relaxed a little bit more as the thing went on. But he was going full speed for a while in this thing.
Did it seem to you like the crowd wasn't into it that much? Like some of his jokes, like the jokes I laughed the hardest at were the jokes that got like a ooh, like a different sound from the audience. And I was cracking up at those jokes.
Yeah. He's been talking, he's on a million podcasts a week, and I watch almost all of them. So he's been talking about it for a while, and he's been saying before it came out, he's like, I got some of the darkest stuff I've ever done here. This is I say a lot of stuff in this thing. I'm actually nervous about how it's going to be taken. So probably some of that stuff. Yeah. But I don't know. Yes, I remember seeing some jokes and not hearing the kind of laughter that I thought I would hear from the crowd. But he's really, really good, man. He's really good at writing jokes, at coming up with them. He talks all the time about the whole process of working jokes out in fixing this little word here and this word here and trying it, it works differently. The same joke works different at this kind of room and this kind of room in this town. And so he's really big on like
YouTube.
comedy.
Go to his YouTube. He's got a few different videos that show him working on a specific joke, the cigarette joke. The one video I watched was the progression of the cigarette joke and how it progressed throughout a certain amount of time up until the actual taping. It's pretty cool.
I love that. I haven't seen that. I got to see that. Love it. He's the king of analogies. He loves to compare two things.
Yes.
This person, a woman says this, but that's like a man saying this, so and so. He's loves an analogy. Let's see. I don't think you should drink on an empty stomach.
That was so good. That was so good.
I'm not gonna say out loud what that was about, but you got to go watch it. And then another thing, I'm not going to say what he's talking about here, but fart's a wacky cousin. That was one of my favorite lines of the whole thing. You got to watch it and check that out. The right wing weather versus the left wing weather. Like,
that was good. That was good
too. That's really all I wrote down, but almost every joke, I'm like, that's good. Even if I didn't laugh hard at it, I'm like, man, that's good. He's so good.
Yeah. So that was my thing was I didn't laugh at a ton of it. A lot of it, I mean, like I'm not saying any of it was bad. It was good. I loved the whole thing. And it was funny. The whole thing was funny. But I mean, I laughed hard at a few things, but I didn't laugh throughout it. A lot of it were just kind of little smirks as I was listening or whatever. But no, I totally agree with you. I think it was a great. I would definitely suggest anybody to watch this. And this is the one though, bud. If you can't take a joke, if you can't realize that this is all just humor and that he's making light of really pressure point subjects, then don't watch it because you're gonna hate it. You're gonna hate it. But if you don't mind laughing at those kind of things, and he's gonna go both ways. He's gonna make a joke about right wing, left wing, things that people agree on, things that people don't, black, white, racism, abortions, you name it. He's gonna crack a joke about it, and he does it, I think. And then he always explains it. That's what you were talking about, the analogies. He's so good at taking those hot button topics, making an analogy to make you go, wait a minute, hold on a second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, kind of right there.
Yep, he does make you think about it.
The whole thing, he grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood or whatever, and he's got, and he has his friend, he's like, it's harder now for me to talk to my friends than it was back then. I like stuff. That's fun.
Yep. Really good. I liked it a lot. And I gave it a 4.5.
I gave it a 4.0.
4.0. Nice. All right. 4.0. What do you think? We pick a couple of things for next week. So not next week because you are on vacation next week.
I will be in Panama next week. And
Wait. I think there's a country and there's a city. Florida.
City.
Okay.
I'll be in Florida. Yeah. I'll be in Florida.
Okay.
One more thing though, I had written down that I wanted to bring up.
Please.
Adam, have you had people telling you when you go to the doctor, like we talked about this not that long ago when I went to see the first time when I went to go get my mouth looked at, and the doctor was telling me about how, because at first they said they wanted me to get my wisdom teeth pulled. I don't know if you remember that way back months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
But the doctor basically told me, he said literally 3 times, he said, at your age, your age. Yeah. Your mouth is like concrete as opposed to styrofoam, like a 16-year-old. And he kept saying, at your age. And it really kind of irritated me. I'm like, all right, stick it up your ass, buddy. You know what I mean?
How old is the doctor?
Younger than me. I don't know how old he was, but he was definitely younger than me. That's what irritated.
I was going to say, if he was older and he was saying that, would it not bother you as much?
Yeah, because it wouldn't have came out in the same way. Yeah. He would have looked at me in almost like a saddened look, like, look, man, at your age, this is what starts to happen. Whereas this guy's just all upbeat, hippity hoppity. Well, you know, at your age, oops, I just flipped off the camera. Sorry. We'll cut that out in post-production.
Yeah.
So the other day, I take my son to the eye doctor. Parker was told he needs to go to the eye doctor. He got himself some contacts. First off, good for him. Got them put in, taken out. He's wearing them every day. He's got his contacts. 10 years old, poor kid. That's about how I was. I think I was 12.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so we both go. I go to get my eyes checked at the same time. And my eye doctor passed away. So we go to this new place, dearly departed 2 years ago. So I haven't gone to the eye doctor in 2 years. So we go to this new place, and it's this real young girl is the eye doctor, right? So the first girl comes in and she does her little stuff, the older lady. And then this young girl comes in and she does she's the actual eye doctor. And she has Parker do his whole eye test. Look up there, see this, is 1 better than 2? Is 2 better than 3? And she's like, look at the letters you couldn't read before. Pulls it away, Parker's astonished, like, oh my God, I can see. So I'm next. I go up there, do the same thing. Well, she puts a piece of paper right in front of my face, like just below my chin afterwards, after I do all those. And she goes, which line can you read? And I said, I can read the very bottom line, P2L643. And she was like, oh, don't worry. 40's the magic number. It's coming. I just read the bottom line. Why do you got up? What is up with these young, cocky doctors? I'm about sick and tired of it. I only want to go to old people doctors. From now on, every doctor has to be at least 60 years old. She looked at me after I read the smallest print on the page, because she wanted to see, she's saying I'm going to need bifocals or I'm going to need cheaters. You know what I'm saying? Like the close-up scene, because I can't see far away. I can see up close fine. She says, it's coming. You're going to need them. 40 is the magic number.
You know what? She's right.
No, my friend. I am 40 years old and I can read the very bottom line.
You've got little less than 2 months.
In a month and a half, all of a sudden my eyes are going to go bad. I'm not going to be able to read small print. I don't think so.
Yeah. On that very day, you're going to wake up and everything's going to be blurry. Yep.
I'm sick and tired of it. I'm done with doctors in general that are younger than me. I want this old guy that goes, oh my God, in 25 years, I've never seen anything like that. That's what I want.
But you know what happens to those old doctors?
They die.
Yeah.
My doctor did.
Your eye doctor proved that.
R.I.P. Dr. Schroer. Great guy. One of the Schroers from Elder. Lots of Schroers from Elder. Yep. His son was a big football player. And his nephew played football, and his nephew was a good friend of mine at St. Dominic. A bunch of them were Dominic guys.
Gotcha. Very nice. Okay. Yeah, I don't blame you. Yeah.
When did you get your
last was a young fella. He was fine. But
he talked into the cheaters, didn't he?
I went and got the cheaters before I ever went to the eye doctor ever. And then he tested everything, gave me a prescription for glasses. I bought, glasses, and they're all expensive. The cheaters that I bought at Walgreens are better than the prescription glasses I've got. So I never wear the prescriptions. I always wear the cheaters.
Yeah, you don't need them.
Anyway, these eyes are getting bad, though. My eyes are getting worse and worse and worse.
Just on the close-up stuff.
It's getting a little worse, I think, but I mean, close-up is harder. Yeah. Close-up's harder for me. Yeah. Yeah, you gotta start going to some old doctors.
I don't think I'll ever go back to her again.
My dentist is pretty young too.
My dentist is only a year or 2 years younger than me. So that we're basically the same age. I feel okay with that.
My dentist might be around the same age as me, actually.
I'm okay with that. But when you're like 30 or 26, she seemed like she was like 24 when she walked in there. But I'm sure to be I don't know, is an eye doctor, is an optometrist really a doctor? Like a chiropractor?
Just like a chiropractor. Yep, or a dentist. I mean,
yeah. I mean, did you really go through that much extra schooling?
Maybe I should be one of those.
You got time.
When I grow up, I'm trying to figure out what I'm trying to be when I grow up.
Maybe that's what I'll do. Maybe I'm going to go back to school and try to be a dentist.
All right, let's both go back to school and be dentists. We'll open a practice. We can both work in there, both work together every day. That'd be fun.
Uh-huh.
Yep. We'll have to change the name of our podcast to the teeth bleeds podcast.
To the tooth infection out your face.
Tooth infection podcast.
Pus coming out your face.
Oh gosh.
Dude, I can't wait to see you in person. I wish you could see the size of the hole in my face right now.
I wish I couldn't see it. I did see it earlier, and
yeah, I thought I had a pretty good view of it.
If you show it to me again, I'm going to join Paul Reubens here. Oh gosh. Oh God. No.
Come on, it's right there. Oh yeah.
Oh, stop. Oh my gosh. All right, pack some gauze in that thing or something.
I don't know how good of a view that was, but it's pretty gross.
Yeah, it's oh boy. Chris, I have an idea for the Mount Rushmore for next week. But the more I thought about it this whole day, the more I think we might have done this one before. So I don't have a backup, so I got to try to think of something quick. But have we done the Mount Rushmore of donuts?
I don't think so.
I
Maybe
didn't.
not.
I first thought of it, and then as I'm thinking about the donuts in my head, I'm like, wait, did I say that already?
I don't think so.
I feel like maybe either we haven't done it or it's been long enough where we could maybe do it again.
I say we
And
do it. I'm good for doing it again, even if we haven't, because I can't remember if we have. I can tell. I know my number one off the top of my head right away.
yeah,
Um, yeah. So yeah, I'm good with that. I think that's good.
all right. You know
Me
what I've
too.
been doing,
Go.
and I hope my boss never hears this, but uh, when I work from home on Fridays, I've been going through a couple meetings in the morning, right? So I'm on
Yep.
for the, and I will once I get to a good place where I'm like, I don't have any real urgent emails or anything I have to do immediately, and I get past those first couple of meetings, run down the street right around the corner. I got a bakery, an old bakery,
What bakery is by you?
Regina,
Oh, Regina Bakery. Yeah, 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 yeah.
still
Dude, there are
open.
so few left.
I
I
know.
used to, because I used to go to, you know, we might have done this before. Maybe we just talked about bakeries or something, because I remember talking about, because I always went to, um, uh, God, what was the bakery on Warsaw?
St.
Or
Lawrence.
St. Lawrence, and yeah, St. Lawrence Bakery. I would stop there like 2 mornings every week, get donuts for whatever customer I was going to. Take them to the east side. I'd take them to Columbus. I'd stop there in the morning, drive all the way to Columbus with them, and should tell people like the greatest donut. They're small, they're not huge, but they're the best donuts you'll ever have in your life.
Yep. Yeah, I miss the old bakery, but I do have one very close. So keep that in mind if you're ever out in the morning working
Yeah,
and you're over kind of this way, which probably never happens, but
there's
swing
just
by.
no lumber yards on the west side, but I'll get over there. I need to get over there for that
Just
one. I
remember.
love Regina Bakery. Regina Bakery is a great place.
Yep. Yep. So anyway, I'll go over there and grab a couple and head right back. It only takes me, I mean, I get there and back in less than 10 minutes.
Oh yeah, less than a break. You're good.
Yeah, basically like taking a break. So that's been a nice little Friday tradition I started doing a little while ago.
I like that. I'm trying to find a comedy special.
Yeah. While you're looking at that, Joe List is going to have another one coming out in like
Oh,
2 months, like that. Uh, Stavros Halkias, I think, has another one coming out in like December. Almost everybody, like so many people are still are next, like their next one. People that we've watched that doesn't feel like that long ago
yeah.
have again soon. We are in some of these comedians talk about it all the time. We're in this like golden age of comedy. There's
That's no doubt.
so many great comics. It's just been awesome.
You're gonna okay. What give me what's some of your YouTube ones that are out there right now?
Yeah, I'm trying to think. I feel like somebody. Ronan Hirschberg, who's a good friend of Joe List and Mark Normand. He had one come out not too long ago, I believe, on YouTube. And I have not watched that. I will tell you, Jim Gaffigan has another new one out. That's
That
on.
doesn't mean
I know. I know you. You know what? I watched it a few days ago because I knew you wouldn't want to watch
good
it.
job. Good job. Let's do this. Let's go with some dude I've never heard of.
Okay.
Zach Hammond. Welfare in Disguise on YouTube.
The story of Dracula on the last boy.
Is
Not the
he?
story of
Is he kind of? Does he look like kind of a tallish? Maybe not tallish. I feel like
let's see.
name Zach Hammond.
He's got glasses. I don't know if he looks tall. He looks kind of dorky-ish.
Yeah.
His name is Hammond, like Chris Hammond. They used
Yeah.
to pitch for the
Okay.
Welfare Guys 2023.
I feel like I'm picturing this person, but I don't know if it's the right one. But anyway, excellent. New comedy special. It's good. It's good to watch people we don't know because sometimes we get great ones.
Yes, I love the new one. I love new people, and sometimes they suck.
Yeah, that's right.
So we'll see.
Yeah. Right on. Right on. Anything else? I mean, I've got a couple things, but we can always save that stuff. That's the thing is now that we're not doing as much sports, it's not as time sensitive really. So
yeah,
it's always better to be able to talk about things that aren't time sensitive, that are kind of evergreen. So it's nice to do that.
I think we need to tease next week because I want to dive into a little more research, and I'm going to start tonight. But I want to talk about aliens.
That's one of the things that
I talked about it a little bit the other day, but I want to talk about aliens. My wife is getting really into it with all of the Congress and because Congress just decides whatever they want to just like berate people for whatever they want. Like they'll just be like, hey, Mark McGuire and Sammy Sosa, you did steroids. You're the worst person in the entire world. And like make you feel like they're terrible people to these people. And for some reason, Congress gets to do that whenever they decide they want to make a special commission. So this one is legit though. You seen this with this dude that they're talking to?
Is it the guy that like used to be in Congress or something, and he has all the information and they let him kind of come out with it?
Yeah, but he's like, well, some of the ones he's like, well, I can't exactly answer that question.
Yeah. They're letting him more information than they ever have. But
100%.
They've said
he basically said people have been murdered to cover up stuff.
Yep.
I mean, he all but said it.
Isn't it funny that for the longest time, when somebody would say something like that, or even just say that they saw an alien, we're all like, all right, this is a kook. This guy is out of his brain. Now it's like, we're the government and we're finally ready to tell you that, yes, we have recovered alien bodies and spaceships. And
yeah, they said biologists or biogenics or whatever. Basically, something was driving the ship.
Yeah.
And they recovered it. And now with all of the video and everything that we have now, like everything's recorded all over the entire world 24/7. Like real videos of people are coming out now. And
but the other thing is the capability of video and of creating things, especially with AI and stuff now. You can make there are so many videos that look fake because they are fake.
Right.
But so like it's impossible to know.
Did you
know what's real and what's not when those videos come out?
I can't remember. I want to say it was in Utah, but I can't remember.
That sounds right.
There's a video or a 911 call
of John Stockton saying,
and this is talking about he saw this flash and it landed in the back of his backyard. There's these tall beings walking around, and all of a sudden some SUVs drove up and everything was gone. So they also have body cam of a police officer right down the road and multiple other people calling about it. Body cam of this like flash, and his partner was like, "Did you just see that? Oh my God, that was crazy." And they came to that guy's house and he's like, "Look, normally I wouldn't even came here. But after my partner said he saw it, I had to come. And I just want you to know, if you see it again, don't call me." That's what he said. Don't call 911.
Yeah. Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Crazy.
So I want to do a little deeper dive into aliens. And I want to talk aliens next week.
All right, let's do it in 2 weeks. But yes.
Yeah.
Next
weeks.
episode, we'll be talking aliens.
Yes. I love it. All right, so we got Zach Hammond, we've got Mount Rushmore donuts, and aliens. Oh, next week's 2 weeks is going to be so good.
It's gonna be great.
I'm excited.
We'll be back in the studio at that time. You'll be back from vacation, nice and rested.
Yes.
We'll be ready to go.
Ready to go. I love it.
Enjoy your vacation.
I definitely will, man. I will.
How long-
We've never been on vacation, just the 5 of us.
Oh,
So this will be different. This is definitely going to be different.
very nice. What made you pick Panama City?
I have points with hotels, and they have a resort kind of a thing there with like 3 pools and a water park and stuff. And we go to that area all the time on the, what is that called? The Gulf Coast. I love the Gulf Coast. White beaches. You can see in the water down to your feet when you're in waist deep water. So that makes it a little bit nicer.
Is that those are beaches that only white people are allowed on? Because that's a little outdated. I feel like that's not really appropriate anymore.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's the way I roll, though. I'm not going to with a Mexican on it. I mean, come on, man.
You go to whites only beaches.
Look at the dirty sand beach. I go to white sand beach. Just kidding. Just a joke. No problem. Whoever's at the beach with me. No, white sand. It's a little hotter. The sand's a little hotter.
Oh,
yeah. Like you were in
Water,
Hilton Head.
right?
Huh?
The water is clearer there, though, right?
Yeah. Water's much clearer. Sand is hotter, but it's white and it's more fluffy. Like when you're in Hilton Head, like on that Atlantic coast, dude, it's just brown and gray or whatever, and flat and hard. Like I love going to the Gulf Coast.
I don't think I've ever been, but yeah, very nice.
Jackson, Pensacola, Panama, what's the Florida? What's that? Alabama down there? What's that called? Gulf Shores, Alabama. None of those. Never been to any of those.
No.
You stay as far away from the beach as you can.
Yeah, of course.
So that's why we went there. I have points, and there's a place down there that we can go for free.
Oh, good call. Can't beat free.
Yep, that's the whole reason.
Driving, right?
Yes. So I'll pay for gas.
But man, driving that long is just so tough. But people do it all the time.
I continue to say I'm done. I don't want to do it anymore. But I think we're gonna leave at like 1 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh.
The kids will sleep through more than half of the trip, and we'll get there around 1, 2, 3 o'clock. It's supposed to be like a 12-hour drive, but with 3 kids, it never really is.
You got to make some stops.
Yep. Yeah. So I'll probably take when I get home from work on Friday, I'll go to sleep right there, take a little nap, get up around 9, give me a shower, probably cut out of there around 1 o'clock.
Very nice.
Yep. There you go.
And then for a good portion of that drive, not a ton of traffic either. So that's good.
Well, that's the goal.
That's the goal.
Hopefully through the night it won't be bad. And then, then she can drive. I'm not a big fan of not driving. Like I have to be the driver. But like when I get really, really tired here lately, I'll be like, all right, you're in. But then I don't get any sleep anyway because you're cramped in a seat. And she usually drives like the last hour and a half, which is all of the stop and go traffic when you're down at the beach area. Yeah. So like every time she touches the brake, I jump and I get freaked out. So I'm not the best. I'm not the best. I'm a terrible backseat driver.
All right. So good luck to Aaron, and good luck to you, and enjoy, relax, and do your beach stuff.
Absolutely will. It'll be a good time, bro. Appreciate it. And yeah, see you in 2 weeks. Till
Right
then,
on.
don't forget your headlights on.